Hello everyone, I'm BigBear. In this video you'll be seeing some highlights from my time on the ranch with BonnyPall and Bo in Brawl. If you're a sucker with a short attention span, then consider jumping over to my other video I released alongside this one. You might find it a little bit more your style. If not, and you're sticking around, please feel free to kick back, relax, and I hope you enjoy your downtime with a little BonnyPall. Oh geez, Jonah the Unifier. As I live and breathe. Legendary creatures you control get XX, where X is the number of legendary creatures you control. Casting legendaries gets you more legendaries. Who would have guessed? Joda Unifier, great deck for just getting all those big fun legendaries that you've just stacked up over time in your bag and you just want to get them all out into one area. We'll keep this hand. We'll see if we can't ramp faster and get BonnyPall out as quickly as possible. He's reading our card as well. What is this demon? What is this devil? It's just BonnyPall. No need to stress. Terramorphic expands. Let's just get through our deck as quickly as possible, picking up some blue along the way, because we don't really have blue. With Lotus Cobra, we can get some blue. With the Cultivator, we can also get some blue as well. And of course, actually, with Armored Scrap Gorger, we can get blue as well. So actually, we're not as boned as perhaps I originally thought. But we'll get this out as quickly as possible so we can get the Quandrix out. We are just down by one, but if we are in trouble, we don't get a land, we can just Cobra. Hold it out for a hot moment. He does need to get one of each color before he can play a Joda, and hopefully we can get set up beforehand. 4 mana will get that Quandrix out even faster, which is good. We can exile the Terramorphic. I don't really want to do that, to be honest, because it would be good for BonnyPall to be able to grab it and just kind of keep cycling through my deck when it comes to like putting things in the graveyard, like putting the Terramorphic or Evolving Wilds into the graveyard and then getting another land, and then vice versa, especially if you got Bristly Bill out as well. Realm Breaker. Okay, no worries. Speaking of Bristly Bill, welcome to the party. Okay, 5 lands. Could throw Bristly out as a bit of a threat just in case. Swift Boots as well. Just for our BonnyPall. 2, 3, 4, 5. But in the event, maybe we just get the Cobra out as well. And we'll get the boots out as well, just so we can have the extra mana to actually apply them to BonnyPall. We'll just swing in here. Should be okay. I could have actually put the boots onto the Lotus Cobra or the Scrap Gorger just to like prevent them from getting removed. Because we are holding 3 creatures to their 0 creatures. Delighted Halfling for some ramp. 2, 3, 4, 5. That essentially makes it so they can cast Joda next turn. Gonna mill 3 cards. Alright. Alright, awesome. We got that final land, so we can throw that down. Let's just give ourselves another blue. And that is going to be for our BonnyPall. Easy done. And then we can quite seamlessly throw... Well, it would be more damage, but I think... I mean, you got to do the cow. We will... I think that's okay. We can just get rid of this boy. Doesn't really matter too much. We'll swing in with these guys. This is where it would have been good to have that Terramorphic Expanse get bounced back. And this is nice. Well, if we really wanted to create a huge threatening board, I mean, it's not going to be good now, of course, because that's going to just fade during combat. But, you know, if you can do that beforehand, then Bristly Bill would have been nice there. He needs to keep that up so he can play Joda. I'm assuming his turn is going to look something along the lines of like play Joda out. See if he can't get, you know, some really cool legendaries off the top that are going to prevent me from just going absolutely ham. I mean, he's going to have one more turn to sort of get things started, but that might not be the case. Unnatural Growth is going to make it so that all my creatures become very threatening, and I think that's what we'll do. Probably could have just done the boots. I don't really have any recursion there, but that's okay. And is there anything? No, that's fine. And we'll go here. We'll keep the Cobra up because the Joda can block that. 2 mana kind of threatens like a counterspell. But it's too much for him. It's GG. And I'm glad we were able to get that ahead of a Jodo just popping off, because that can be very scary very quickly, but clearly so can BonnyPall. GG. Castrel, the Wing Crested. We have a card here. Whenever one or more bird you control deals combat damage to a player, choose one. You may put a bird creature card from your hand or graveyard into the battlefield with a finality counter. Put a 1/1 counter on each bird you control, or draw a card. 5 mana, 4/5 flying. Loves birds, and I love these Goose Hydra sleeves. That is incredibly cool. We have a turn 3, turn 4 little ramp here. Sort of not really. I'm not enjoying this hand as much as I would. Growth Spiral will be good. Reclamation Sage will stop some of their ramp if they got any. I think this is definitely a better hand, and I don't really want to go down to 6. 1 mana up here with a hello. We will throw it straight back at them. If they do ramp, then we can just throw down some goodies as well, but it looks like they're just going to put some birds down. Thal Watcher with a Surveil. We will throw this down, and we'll put down the Scrap Gorger. That is going to allow us to get 4 mana and a Quandrix Cultivator. Alright, 1/1 token, turn token, hand. Okay. Cool, can't be blocked. Oh, flyer. What am I thinking? What am I... brains everywhere. Ooh, you may play an additional land on each of your turns. I think we'll go this instead of the Quandrix. And we will exile their land. We'll exile their land. Get out of here. We'll play with the top card of our library there, and we'll throw that one down. We're 1 blue off, which we can see is not the next card, but we are 1 blue off playing BonnyPall, a Foretella card, maybe a counterspell with a 2 blue that they still have up. I got flyers, so I suppose while we're here, we just want to ramp as much as humanly possible, really. Don't have anything for Reclamation Sage. We can do some Spelunking, or we can Growth Spiral here. I think we just do the Quandrix. Just kind of want to guarantee blue land in my hand. They can use this time to, of course, counterspell this one. Growth Spiral can come next. Dazzling Denial. That was their Foretell. That's alright. Glimpse of the Cause next anyway. One way or another, I need to get some more land on the battlefield. I can't get a blue from it, but I can get 2 greens. We've got plenty of green mana, but we do not have that last piece of the cake. Oracle of the Alpha. They've got the Power 9 in their library, which is nothing to mess about with. I mean, we are likely to just be dying to the flying 1/1 birds. And 1/2 bird. What do we got? What do we got? Growth Spiral will draw us another land, or it will draw us another card, I should say. Spelunking will also draw us another card. They've got 1 mana up. Scroot Swarm could be good just in case we do get the lands. Plus we've got the Oracle out, so let's get that out first real quick. Let's go for a Spelunking. Fantastic, and let's just go for a Growth Spiral then as well. We need to just see if we can't siphon through our deck and find that blue mana. Dang, no find. That's interesting. I mean, I've never gotten to the point where I've had like 7 green mana and no blue, at least from all the ramp that we've done now. We did have one that was counterspelled specifically. Exiling Raven Form. Birds attacking in the sky. We got a 1/1, so I guess we can just block their biggest one, take the least damage. Topiary is going to get us a land as well, so is the Harrow. So I suppose let us just go directly for it. We'll sacrifice a green. Let's get our blues. Let's get BonnyPall out. Create a little bit of a threat, and let's also go Llanowar Elves. Just sort of build that board, create as much of a threat as possible. And at this point, they've got no blockers, so we'll just Oracle, because that's just going to at least get the trigger of BonnyPall. We'll grab Emoti from... Oop, and I could have grabbed the Tangled Veil. This is why you got to always be careful. Look at your plays, look at what happens. Consider Surveil 1, draw a card, put some more goodies in their hand. We do have one blocker. Oh, one of the Power 9, Mox Pearl. We do have... We do have one blocker for their flyers, but will it be enough? 14 life. We don't have any trample, so they can of course block our stuff, but we are threatening them with a 6/5 and a 9/9. And Emoti is going to be able to cascade into some of our bigger stuff as well. I should say cascade into some of our other goodies to ramp up to make sure that we can play BonnyPall again if he gets removed. Removing a flyer from the field. And that's going to return, of course, they did the good Aether Channeler. Non-land permanent to owner's hand could bounce the BonnyPall or could bounce the bow, which is probably a little bit better, but they're just going to create flies instead. Okay, let's see how we want to do this. If we Emoti, then it's just going to get that Cultivate, which is not the greatest. We could Reclamation Sage and get rid of the Mox, which is another thing that we can do. Which will get rid of their white, actually, because they don't have any white. Do we have enough to do both? Yes, we do. So let's Emoti, let's set that up. Cascade into the Cultivate. Cast Cultivate for free. We will grab 2 blue and put 1 on the battlefield. Awesome. We've got a Command Tower that we can play for free. We've got an island that we can also put down. We'll get a Reclamation Sage. And we will destroy their Mox Pearl. Take the action, thank you very much. And... I mean, we really could go hard with the ramp here. I mean, they would have to clear the board. Given I think we're in a bit of an optimal position. But just because I feel threatened, Topiary Stomper is coming in. And we're going to just grab another one of our islands. Oh, sorry, forests. Grab a forest instead. Tangled Florahedron could be another card we throw down just to say, hey, I feel very threatened, but I think we'll keep that. We'll just throw our 13/13, our 6/5, and we can also throw a 3/3 out as well. I think that is also equally threatening. We will get rid of the Mox Pearl. We will exile that one from their graveyard, draw a Platinum Angel from that as well, which is good because we'll have a flyer, and also we will tell them, hey, I'm not losing this game at all, and you cannot win the game. We don't have any trample, so 13/13 is just going to be how it is. End the turn there. Now, they don't have any white mana, but they may have just drawn one to start putting out their commander or some other one of the goodies. Oh, they're just saying, hey, I need to throw everything 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's true, I didn't leave BonnyPall up just in case we needed a blocker if they were able to buff everything, but suffice to say, that is GG on our behalf. Very well done. I would have loved to have seen the commander actually come out, but yeah, looks like we just threw everything on the board and said, hey, this is what I got, show me what you've got, and ours just ended up being better in the long run. GG. Volo, Guide to Monsters. Whenever you cast a creature spell that doesn't share a creature type with a creature you control or a creature card in your graveyard, copy that spell. Well, as a 4 mana 3/2, that seems like it could be a really fun way to get at a bunch of goodies and have a bunch of different creature cards in your graveyard. Let's see if we can't out-ramp that. A Scrap Gorger, Explore, and Settle the Wilds should be a very good curve to sort of give us some stuff. Awaken the Woods if we are feeling a little bit low, but Awaken the Woods actually works incredibly well with BonnyPall. Now we are going second, not the greatest, especially on something that costs a little bit cheaper and can get out a bunch of creatures. Tap land, we're going to do the same. Breeding Pool, well, that does beat our Tangle, but whatever. Armor Scrap Gorger, turn 2. Let's see if we can't out-ramp. We're both Simics, so we're both playing for keeps. And of course, he's kept his mana up, so maybe a counterspell? It seemed like for a second he was holding priority, but I guess not. Settle the Winds on the next turn, or Explore, because that will allow us to play an additional land. We could even actually do a very simple island into Oracle. Again, looked like he was holding priority there for a second. And then we can Evolving Wild and we can grab ourselves a second green as well. And that's going to get us one step closer to putting BonnyPall out, which is a very nice ramp actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if we grab another land, we'll have 6 for BonnyPall next turn. But with Oracle, we're playing with our top anyway, so we can also play lands from the top. Ooh, they're going to be playing a Growing Rights. So when it enters, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card from among them and put it into your hand. The rest at the bottom of your library in any random order. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 4 more creatures, transform it. And we're... Ooh, well, the Cradle of the Sun is great for getting a lot of creatures out. So we don't have enough of BonnyPall right now, but that is okay. We can always... Well, we can 2, 3, 4, 5. And we can get some goodies out there, or alternatively... We can just explore, or we can settle the wilds. So let's settle the wilds here. Seek a basic land, have that come in. Emoji comes in as well, which will be some good ramp. And then we'll just explore as well. We'll draw an additional card. Oh, I got rid of the Evolving Wilds. I did that by just instinct to just click that, but probably should have gotten rid of the spell because BonnyPall works really well with... getting Evolving Wilds back. Just happy that we were able to get at least a forest from the top of that thanks to the Oracle. So it did kind of save our butts a little bit there. Vola's going to come out and they're going to have 1 mana left, which could be for a wash away. I could just play the Emoti or the Tyrant, which are also very threatening as well. And this one has Trample. So I suppose with that being the case, I have been washed away before and it feels like a bit of a waste of a turn. So instead, it'll probably be better to get ourselves in a position that's a little bit scary, and I think that's going to be with the, with the Tyrant, because if it dies, then they're just going to have to deal with another one. But of course, BonnyPall is also very good, but I don't want it to be counterspelled. So let's get the Tyrant out. We can just get rid of Settle the Wilds with this one, with the Armored Scrap Gorger, 2 oil counters. That's going to get us 3 life. I'm going to draw a card. And then, of course, when we play our BonnyPall as well, we'll be able to do that. I don't think they're going to be wanting to block here with the 2-2, but I do really want Oracle to stay there. So just in case they got any bags of tricks, we will just keep that up and not attacking. Playing a Pixie, which they are going to copy. And this is where it's going to get a little bit tricky because now their Pixies are going to be able to give like double ram and stuff like that. And any of the creatures that they've got, it's all going to be doubled, which is going to be incredible the moment they can play some bigger creatures, which now they've got, 2 mana. They get 2 2/2s and also 2 mana dorks. It's amazing. Actually, Volo would be an incredible card to be able to play as a commander. 2 4/4s when it enters. If a gift was promised, destroy artifact or enchantment. Don't have any of those right now. Thank goodness. Let's play an island from the top. Now we can do BonnyPall, and they've got a lot of mana to work with right now. So I think we do just have a little bit of a threatening discussion and say, I am BonnyPall, and I will be throwing that out. We will get Bow, and we will be getting 2 triggers off the Tyrant. We can play the second forest here, which is going to buff up our cow. We've got nowhere to start attacking, but that is okay. We can tap, not for a ton, but that's okay. I think let's first go into attacks because we do want to get the trigger off the Tyrant. And they can do some blocking here. But let's go to blockers next. They can double block and kill the Tyrant, but that's just going to give us a token anyway, and it will destroy one of theirs. But they're going to decide not to do that, I think. Just take the damage. I think for the sake of drawing some good stuff as well, we will just put down the Majesty as well. We'll exile a card and make our Scrap Gorger a 3/3. Just means on the beginning of our upkeep, we will be drawing an additional card. We've got 3 cards right now that are, well, over 4 power. We don't have any... Do we have anything that we want to... I mean, we've got plenty of ramp, I think, at the moment. And we've got Awaken the Woods, which is going to work really well with Bow. He doesn't have Trample right now, but we're not going to need the ramp per se. We still got Tangled Flora Hedron and Cultivate, so these are ones we could have gotten rid of as well. Or Glimpse the Core, probably a better one. But just in case we get Bristly or something, there is the game ender. The Crater Hoof Behemoth. That just decimates every single time. Insane that it just comes down and it just absolutely knocks it out of the park. Well, what is a man to do but to try a block? I mean, 15 there, 30 is already in the air that I could block a little bit. I think once you have the Crater Hoof Behemoth, you just say GG. What a quick game. I thought we're setting up, we're having some fun. Needless to say, this man said, no, I have a Crater Hoof Behemoth. I'm not here to have fun, I'm here to win. And that he did. Great deck, Volo. Well done, GG. We are versing a Sky Captain. Flying, lifelink, war, discard a card. Whenever a modified creature you control attacks, double the number of each kind of counter on it. Then for each non-land permanent attached to it, create a token that's a copy of that permanent attached to that creature. White, blue, black. I'm seeing weapons. That's what I'm thinking. I'm seeing some counters and some weapons, and essentially just Voltroning a creature into something huge. Double, 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 double. Toil and trouble. Next minute, you've got something that's just absolutely just devastating, and has got the evasion of flying. And with lifelink, it's like, well, I'm not going to die today. No, sir. And I love the art as well. Great sleeves as well. Wow, that is incredible. Some Alice in Wonderland, but mystical. Well, let's have a look. 3 mana, an Armored Scrap Gorger and a Glimpse to the Core is going to be some good ramp. Colossus Majesty is going to allow us to draw some stuff, and hopefully those draws will go into a Stampede, which we can just throw down. So let's keep this one, see how we go, see if we can't get to 6 as quickly as possible so that we can throw BonnyPall down anyway, because that is the whole point of the deck. We want to get that one out ASAP. Let's see if we can't do that. Let's turn our kitty into a knight kitty, because this is a very knight-esque atmosphere. Armored Scrap Gorger, always a great turn 2. And then we can, of course, Glimpse the Core, Colossal Majesty. I think Glimpse the Core, of course, first, because we don't have any 4 greater creatures at the moment. Let's throw down a blue. Let's do Glimpse the Core. Let's grab ourselves another green, of course, because Glimpse the Core just grabs a forest. We'll hit next, we'll attack, we'll swing in, we'll get rid of that Polluted Delta. It doesn't really matter, really just for the oil counter. I mean, not necessarily threatening a 2-mana counter spell here, but that's okay. Oh, we've got Wash Away, we got Wash Away. Oh, okay. They've got the Kraken, and that Kraken is great because whenever you draw a card, you may pay 1, and if you do, put a 1/1 counter and create a 1/1 blue tentacle creature. We've got an Explore, which is fantastic. We'll throw down our second blue here, but we don't want to do Explore because we've got BonnyPall. And who wouldn't want BonnyPall? We're going to get rid of our Glimpse to the Core for another oil counter. BonnyPall's going to come up. Of course, I just like to always throw down BonnyPall when possible. But they are playing into black, they are playing into white, so there's a lot of things that could just delete our stuff. Chromatic Lantern is going to allow them to tap for color of any that they want. Now, this is a rare opportunity where BonnyPall stays up after playing, well, after it being played and having a turn with blue and, sorry, well, any of those colors, really. It can be bounced back, it can be destroyed, exiled. Play an additional land this turn. At the beginning of your upkeep, you control a creature for a greater, draw a card. I think I do want that because I do want some card draw. And we can also explore anyhow as well. We don't have a land in our hand, but it would just be, I suppose, a card draw, so potential. And we'll also do BonnyPall as well. Cool. We got the forest. We'll play that down. Let's hit next. Let's start swinging. BonnyPall will trigger where we can draw another card, and if it's a land, throw that down. We know that. And we've sort of like ramped back into like the position where if BonnyPall was to die, we can then just put her back out. We could put the ramp up excavator down. We don't have any lands in our graveyard. It kind of feels unnecessary to throw it down. Could just be another blocker if we were in a position where we were feeling super threatened. They've got 5 mana. Claim Jumper, great card against Simic, or just green, because they're going to be able to grab 2 planes from that as well, put that on the battlefield, and those planes are then going to be under Chromatic Lantern, meaning they can tap for any mana color, which is going to be good for them. Plains card as well, so Goddess Shrine, Godless Shrine, and the Hallowed Fountain as well. Great for that. Not just a basic land, of course. Very nice to just grab the necessary lands you need to get back on top. I could put the Stampede down. I feel like with the lack of creatures I've got, it's not super beneficial. We'll be attacked. We won't block. I I still just want the Armored Scrap Gorger for now. We'll draw a card. Okay, cool. So Titan of Industry is going to be good here because it's going to allow us to destroy an enchantment and create a dino because we'll be able to destroy the land. Oh, sorry, artifact or enchantment. So that's what we're going to go for. That was a very good top deck. I will admit I was a little bit curious as to where we would go here. Creating more creatures is always good as well. He doesn't have any mana up to, well, to essentially counterspell that if he did have that. Attack with the two big boys, 6599. Draw a Platinum Angel. So just in case we felt like we were going to lose, we now extra will not lose. Just in case. Damage will go through. He's going to go down to 12. We will end turn. Really, with the Stampede up, I would like to just build the creatures that are here and then throw them all down and have it as a nice little big play. But with Titan of Industry out, if he doesn't get rid of that, you know, this is going to start swinging in with that trample damage, which is going to be quite lethal very quickly, which, fingers crossed, is going to make it a lot harder for him to play his commander, play a bunch of weapons, or put a bunch of counters on things, because with the Kraken, of course, and his commander, that could be, you know, quite difficult to, you know, fight back against. It's a 5/6 right now, and modified creatures you control have lifelink with the Envoy of the Ancestors. So lifelink for the 5/6. I don't think he'll want to swing in there because I do have a 7/7 to block it. But if he does keep buffing that, then hey, that's, you know, that's something to gain him life more and more and more and more. Let's play an island down. I could just do the Stampede Tyrant, which is going to just be super threatening. Like, hey, if you don't take me out or wipe the whole board, you're going to be in trouble. But at the same time, I feel like I am in a bit of an advantageous position. So if I was to do that and he could clear the board, well, then I would kind of be in trouble. We'll throw a forest down as a response to the trigger from BonnyPall. And we're throwing in a ton of damage here. So, fingers crossed, we do get a bunch of it in. No trample for two of the creatures, but that's okay. Titan of Industry will make sure that we are still a bit of a threat. 1/1 counter goes on the Kraken if they pay 1. The question is, if they do, what are they sacrificing? Titan of Industry is going to be able to go through. Whenever a creature control enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 creature on each creature control. Nice. I don't think they're going to have anything coming out though. They could, but I don't think they're going to be able to gain enough life. I mean, they could throw down something really cheap, but if I just swing in with everything, that's going to be pretty threatening to them, and that's assuming I don't draw a even better, you know, finisher answer with the Colossal Majesty. Thinking. I'm thinking myself what they could play down that would be very beneficial, but I don't think that there's anything here that's going to essentially save them. But they'll run the timer out, at least having a bit of a think of what they can get. I think in another blocker, like the lifelink blocker, could have been good. Especially just to block the 7/7, maybe give themselves 2 more turns. It would have cost them just their commander. It would have given them, I think, 1 more turn. My math might be off there. It may have just given them 1 more turn with the lifelink. I don't think anything would have traded in their favor per se. But playing into those colors, you know, you never know when you're going to be drawing yourself a farewell, or if you're going to be playing something that's just going to be destroying everything. And I kind of get the feeling, I would say they're thinking about it, but I can't see their cursor looking at their cards or looking at their lands. So it almost feels like they've just played down this for the weekly achievement of playing white spells, and then going, hey, I'm going to go get a cup of coffee, and then if I come back and I've hit victory, then that's good, and I'll leave it down to fate if my opponent gets bored and doesn't want to wait for me. Otherwise, it feels, I mean, when it comes to Arena, the one thing I don't like that you get in, you know, playing Magic in person is, you know, your opponent doesn't normally, or maybe it does for you, but normally they don't. I feel like you're generally playing with friends and they don't just concede on the spot. They let sort of the flow of everything just occur. I'm not going to hold anything here. I'm just going to, look, I'll forest and then I'll swing it with everything. I don't really want to hold any sort of idea that like I need to make a huge play here. He ran down the clock on 5 health and didn't play anything else. Didn't even, you know, did the timer. So look, it's yeah, it's when it comes to Arena, like obviously you're given the option to concede, and that's fine. I definitely think, you know, when you're watching Pro Tours and when you're watching people play, like there is a point where you can go, hey, look, I can't beat what you're throwing down. You got a 12-12 cow on the field. I can't beat that, and that's fine. Like it's like, hey, I've just had a lucky game, or I've just done well. But the response to that, I think, is what's important, because I think that speaks a truth on like what kind of player you are. If you're like, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with conceding. Ran the timer out. Needless to say, I think if you were to just have the other person wait, and you know, you're on my clock now, I'll have you wait because you're in a winning position, you're now going to suffer. It's like, well, it's nice to know that, or it's a little unfortunate to think that, you know, the price of victory or just playing the game that you love is a consequence. So even when you win, you lose, which is not very enticing to want to continually play it. I understand the frustration of being outplayed or the other person just getting lucky and them having some really good cards. Like I think I got very lucky there. I don't think I made any great plays, but the Titan of Industry was a very nice card that comes down, and it's very hard to beat once it does come down. But I don't know if it's enough to say, hey, now you're going to wait for me. You're going to wait for, if you want your win, you better wait for it. That's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Tried my best here, and it looks like they did as well to get that Kraken out, and their commander didn't just missed the mark by a little bit. GG, Aaron.